5 hours west of Kathmandu in the foothills of Nepal is a valley accessible by road only in the dry season. There's a school there, home to about 1,200 students, called Achane. The Netrawati River flows through this valley and represents a real barrier to movement. It's impassable in the monsoon and dangerous even in the dry season, which is shown here. You have to walk hours to get to a really safe crossing, but in the dry season, the villagers build a temporary bridge. This shows a woman and her daughter, I think, trying to use this bridge. A year and a half ago, the villagers asked ecosystems to help them get a real bridge. This river is too wide for the ordinary suspended and suspension structures. So finally, at the end of 2008, the civil works were completed, and the bridge structure was finished in January, 4 weeks later. To do this, on each side of the river there's some equipment that's installed. There are two very heavy posts which are carried down to the river by the villagers. These are set up and then belayed with cables to make them secure, and they then in turn will support the wires on which the bridge will run. These villagers were volunteers. They were paid for their efforts, but this was very difficult work, crossing the river barefoot. It's very cold. It comes out of the glaciers. This is the post. It stands about 3 feet high on each side. It's belayed with cables and to a very heavy concrete anchor that's underground that was installed about a month before. In this crossing, it's 165 meters. It will use steel wires that are about a half-inch diameter and is belayed on the backside with these flexible cables. Each coil of the wires weighs about 160 kilograms, or about 300 pounds. These are the coils of wire. Each of them were strapped to some carrying poles, and the people brought them down to the riverside. For this bridge, the trip was fairly short. In other places, there may be many hours of travel, but teams of 8 people can move them at a rapid walking pace. These are the chairs. They'll be bolted together to make the carriage. Unspooling the wire to stretch it across the river is quite a trick. So several stakes are pounded into the ground, and these provide a center around which the wire can be uncoiled. The wire is like spring steel. It remembers its shape, so a bamboo pole is fastened on the front to prevent the wire from twisting and coiling upon itself. The construction is always easier to do in the dry season because the river is down. But occasionally, this pulling of the wire across the river had to be done using small craft. At the end, when the wire is fully stretched, it fits into the top of the post and is secured with a donut-shaped gripper. Meanwhile, the carriage is assembled, and lots of eager hands bring it down to be hung on the wires and put in place. On the final day, this is day 4 of this program. The inauguration was scheduled. Everyone who could walk came. There were speeches, there were gifts of flowers, there were thanks, and everyone, of course, hoping to be the first to ride on the carriage. 34 of these bridges have been built in the last 12 years without any reported accident, moving over 3 million passengers. Bridge construction has now been shifted from Ecosystems to a new company formed by its employees called Village Solutions. It's all Nepalese at this point. This new company, Village Solutions, is now the partner of Village Tech Solutions. We're proud to have them as an all-Nepalese group with whom we can work. Our thanks to everyone who helped make this happen.